Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are on episode number 3 of Let's Suggest Supports, and we're dipping out of that UR category and we're headed back to the MR range, and we're going to talk about another super cool MR unit that a lot of people have kind of pushed to the side as like a faith-raising robot or something. We're going to talk about Fina and how she's a lot more than just a faith-raising robot, although the skill she uses to raise faith is still her best skill, so people are right about that. Okay, what we got on the screen to start is her base stats, and just a cursory look at those, you can tell that she struggles statistically. This is one of the things when people first saw Fina that they relegated her to faith robot, because they're like, well, her HP's terrible, she doesn't have a bunch of magic, her agility's kind of nice, 62 agility, she can take turns, that's good, she can take turns raising our faith. Basic move and jump, not strong resistance wise against any sort of physical damage, but very strong against magical damage. Okay, so you gotta think, if I want to use her in PvP, what can I do to ramp up these stats a little bit? How can I make her competitive with some of the other MR units that have better stats, or the UR units who are, there's plenty of UR supports. So how can you get Fina to that level? First, let's look at her support abilities and see what we can equip there to boost her skills. Unlike some other support abilities, she does have a few that will raise some stats. So you see them on the screen now. We're going to really focus on number 3 and number 4 here. Fina's not going to do damage for you. Giving her a bunch of like missile attack up, bonus range, yeah, I mean that's not what you're going for with Fina. But you do like that range +1 magic +15% skill, because magic is going to be your number one stat you're looking at for healing. So we're going to use that to boost her magic. And then that spirit +15 on number 4, that's going to make her even better against magic, which based on her resist, she's already good against. So let's circle those two, and then let's look at a weapon to give her to help increase those stats as well. If you participated in the Elven Bow event, you got this pretty cool bow that has some interesting stats on it that most archers aren't going to want to use. Well, Fina's not most archers. This bow has a ton of magic, a ton of accuracy, and it has magic attack up. That's bad for like Niv'Lu or something like that. She doesn't want those stats. Well, maybe like weird time mage Niv'Lu does, but it's a Fina bow. It's actually Rosa's bow, but Fina loves it. So that magic +142, gonna push that magic stat up. Accuracy, I mean, if she has to attack, she might as well hit stuff. Her dexterity and luck are really bad, so that accuracy is nice. And then magic attack up, yeah, that's kind of whatever for her because she's mostly going to be healing and stuff. But let's equip that bow, let's equip those supports, and then let's put an updated version of Fina's stats on the screen, and you can see that her magic has jumped to 368. Okay, that's in that level of we can use you now. Her spirit has jumped to 15, and you can see that most of the rest of her stats have stayed with very little change. But that's just with the Elven Bow equipped and those two support abilities, which leaves you some flexibility in the rest of your gear. You can give her a nice accessory, you can give her like some spirit armor, or a spirit coat, excuse me, she can't wear armor, or something like that to even further enhance her strengths. So that's how I would suggest boosting her stats. Let's go look at some of her skills, let's build a couple teams with Fina in it, and then let's go pick some fights and watch how Fina works in a battle. Okay, let's take a look at Fina and what we're going to turn on, turn off, just what she's running to do her job here. So we're going to give her the bow. The bow's going to give her that 142 magic, that's going to boost her heals and just make her a better support character in general. Give her some armor with the plat robe and a chance to cast revive on herself with the zombie TMR. As far as espers and vision cards go, she can really carry about anything. I'm going for speed on this build, so I'm giving her Siren that gives 18 agility, and 67 magic is okay too. And then we have Behemoth here, which is going to give the party 15 Pierce attack resist up. Going to help us against those canes, that kind of thing. And then it also gives Fina another 5% agility. So she's sitting at 80, which will help her get cheer put on, you know, our characters before they get in there and start taking damage. Or at least that's the thought. As far as what abilities to turn on and off, you can almost just leave everything on with Fina because her AI will prioritize healing and buffing before it will prioritize damage. But just to kind of give you an idea of what skills that are, you know, really important to her, Cure, Full Life, and Curaga, right? Like these are her basic, I'm a support healer type of skills. Curaga and Full Life are her best two, like traditional white mage spells. And then you come over here to Subjob White Mage of Lapis, and Cheer is Fina's best ability. 18 TP, 3 uses, gives Protect, an attack buff, a magic buff, and a faith increase to an ally. This is the skill that people use to raise faith on their on their people, because the faith buff will stay on throughout the fight, and when the fight ends, your unit will come out with permanently more faith. So a lot of people just level Fina, or you don't even have to level her, they just include Fina in their farming groups just to raise the faith of people in their group. The spell's a lot more than that though. The buff is really, really good. Protect with an attack buff and Protect with a magic buff, super good. The Protect is technically 5% less potent, I guess, than a White Mage's Protect, which gives 25% defense against physical attacks. Fina's only gives 20, but makes up for it with all those other stats that it gives. Okay, she also has Cura, Bright Shower, again, a little AoE small damage, Aim, 100% hit small damage, and Asuna, which is the D spell, the debuff, you know, gets rid of the debuffs. Good skill. Okay, that's what we're running on her. Now, what about her team? Well, for our first team of Fina, we're going to go with the same kind of role that aipOQ can fulfill, where you just take 2 of your best characters, you give them what they want, and you say, okay, you two, we're going to put Fina with you to buff you, to heal you, and you two go kill everybody. So can Fina fulfill that role, kind of like aipOQ did? Well, let's go jump into a fight and find out. Okay, let's see how we can do against a 3300 attack, all dark Men in Black team here. We have 2 of the same units that they do. Both teams are running Dwayne, both teams are running Kane. The enemy is bringing Ruinstern, the double cost super rare unit, and we're bringing Fina, the MR support healer buffer unit. So if you're talking about amount of resources invested into the team comp, their team's invested a ton more, right? Like Ruinstern is one of the hardest units to build up in the game. Fina, pretty easy. So here we go. Anyway, Courage on Arcane, Fina charging her first Cheer. Dwayne, gonna cast Bells on himself, that's good. Here comes Cheer, and you can see all the buffs that puts on him. It's a super good skill. She's charging up another one. This one might be on herself. One thing I want to say about the team that we're fighting and Fina is they're all dark, and she's weak to all their damage types and to darkness. I don't think her Cheer is going to have any chance of protecting her from getting one-shot by any of those guys. Yeah, that just seems really unlikely to me. Now, we've grouped up in a really unfortunate way here and are eating the AoE from this other team. But we've also grouped up to where Curaga will heal more than one person. I didn't see, it looks like a debuff to healing was probably put on Kane, on Arcane, because that heal didn't hit as hard as it should have. But there we go. Kane's still up. He drops his attack, kills enemy Ruinstern. Our Dwayne Magic Infuse on the enemy Kane, which puts him at 0 AP, which is fantastic. Fina, more healing. You kind of can see how her AI works here. She really likes to just stand in the back and say, I'm going to heal, I'm going to buff, all of those things. All right, unlucky here. Enemy Dwayne looks like he's targeting Fina with a jump. And there's that one shot that I was talking about. She just is not going to be able to withstand an attack from one of those three. However, we won the fight. Did we win necessarily because of Fina? Maybe, maybe not. But you could see in that her AI loves to buff, loves to heal, and she does those things effectively. Okay, let's build another team with Fina. This time, let's do what I think she will like more, and that's have a true tank in the group who can generate some hate on their own, so Fina doesn't get attacked by the enemy. Okay, for Fina's second team comp, we're going to go to another comp that an Ayaka would succeed in. We're going to give Fina a very clear, like, Engelbert is the tank, we want you to max support him and keep him alive while he soaks all the damage, and then Skull is going to be our DPS unit. He's going to quicken Engelbert, help him get out in front, and then try and clean up the fight with his DPS. And we have a full life in the bag if we need it. So let's see how we do. Okay, first fight we find Dwayne, Ayaka, Cecil. Interesting team comp here from the enemy. We get to see Fina versus Ayaka. Two units that I would say fill the same role. Which one is better? Well, we're going to see them both in the fight here. I think Fina has access to a better single buff than Ayaka does. I think Cheer is better than any of Ayaka's buffs. However, Ayaka has more buffs that she can cast, a deeper TP pool, and more healing with her limit break and things like that. So anyway, here you see the enemy team. They're getting hasted. They're doing the time mage stuff from Ayaka. There's our Cheer onto Engelbert. Great. Engelbert's going to cast Bells and begin his slow walk forward. His slow walk forward will be aided by a quicken from Skull. Great. It's really important that Engelbert has Vow of Love for this kind of group to work. Like, you need Fina's Cheer to be on Engelbert. You need Skull's Quicken to be on Engelbert. That's the way to get Engelbert to actually go tank things and not just stand next to his friends and hug them while they die in his arms. And he's like, I'm tanky, I'm not dead, etc. Anyway, slow developing fight. Both teams setting up buffs. But here's our second Quicken onto Engelbert. This is going to put him forward. It's going to put him in Taunting Blade range. Here it comes. Bang. He now has a whole lot of hate. Fina going to zombie transform herself. That's fine. And she's still in range to heal Engelbert once he starts taking damage. Okay, here's the limit break from Cecil. About 800 and some damage. No big deal. We expect a little bigger damage there from Dwayne. And that was real bigger damage. Alright, let's see what Skull has. Ruinja. Boom. One-shots the enemy Cecil. Fantastic. Now the supports are going to kick in. Alright. Little unlucky on our side here that we had to use our courage proc already. But let's see this heal. Nice. 2379. Not bad for someone who suffers from Fina's like low stat pool. Enemy not running the correct faith. Misses the full raise on Cecil. Haste for the enemy Dwayne. We move into AoE range and get AoE'd because, you know, why wouldn't we want to stand next to each other and get everybody disabled? This is going to be the true test now for Fina. Can she heal through the idiocy that is our team comp? I'm going to guess probably not. I think once Skull goes down in this group, it's probably just over. And in fact, I don't know what Fina was thinking right there. She needs to go cast full life, but she might not have enough TP left. It doesn't look like she does. She's in DPS mode now, and we're going to lose this fight. I'm going to let it play out while I talk, and it's not going to take long to play out because there it goes. But right there, Engelbert and Skull can't stand next to each other. It just can't happen. And when they did, and Dwayne on the enemy team has Bells, he's just going to AoE them over and over again. And Fina is not able to heal enough to overcome your own units getting one shot. So no one can heal enough for that. And because she doesn't have a super deep TP pool, well, she didn't have full life available when she needed it. There we start seeing a drawback of Fina, right? Like, she's a good unit, but not Ayaka good. And even the enemy Ayaka even missed their full life there. But we'll rebuild our team a little bit. see if we can win with this true tank plus Fina setup. Okay, so if you check out the screen, you'll see the adjustment that I decided to go with. Instead of giving a different DPS and like taking Skull out for somebody that might not get one shot, I decided to take ginGY out and replace him with someone who could just do a little bit more with the resources we're giving him, and that's Agrias. Agrias is, you know, if you've watched the tank series, Agrias is, in my opinion, the best tank in the game. It's because she does more than just stand there and soak damage, and ginGY is weak to dark. Oh, excuse me. ginGY's weak to dark right now anyway, so Dwayne just chewed him right up. That was gross. So let's see what Agrias can do instead of ginGY, and if we can win with her instead of him. Alright, we're not scared of dark anymore, and in fact here's the full dark squad. A lot of AoE on this team. I'm a little worried about Skull getting himself killed. We're going to try it though. We're going to try it. Man, I really... This team scares me for Agrias. I don't know if Agrias has the tank stats to stand up to this, and I don't know if our AI has the brains to stay out of the AoE. I would not pick this fight if this was a Guild Wars or something like that, but this is a video to show off what Fina can do and what our team can do. So it's a good test. Okay, here's Skull charging his first Quicken. This is going to put Agrias forward, and she's already used bells, so she's going to have enough AP to do whatever she wants. Let's see what she chooses to do. Taunting Blade. Okay, she's gained some more hate. There's Cheer on her, so she's ready to go. Enemy team still buffing. Here comes another Cheer from Fina. This one's on herself. I still think if she gets caught by any of this AoE, she will die in one hit. So it's nice that she got that Cheer on herself, but I don't know that's going to help a lot. Okay, there was an example of Agrias bringing more than ginGY. She got that stop on the enemy Kayn, which is really going to help us win this fight. Now, one bad thing about boosting Agrias forward so much is she is very much out of range of healing. So she's almost dead, and it's going to be tough to find a way to get Fina to go heal her. I don't anticipate much heals coming for her. But Skull, able to take advantage of Agrias' positioning, kill the enemy Dwayne, gets a Cheer on himself, so this is probably going to turn into the two-man show for our team. There goes Agrias. Here comes Skull. Here comes Fina. We're going to get a Thunder. This will finish off the enemy Kayn. And it's Runestern versus 2. Now he has AoE. And it was good enough. Oh, but Fina comes back. Can she clutch it? Does she have it in her? No, she's going to heal herself. Fina, I got bad news for you. He's going to one-shot you anyway. Dang it. Okay. Not the worst. Like, that was a pretty decent showing from the squad there, but kind of what we anticipated happening happened. We just stood too close to each other against a team where everyone on their team can drop AoEs. Agrias did outperform ginGY, no doubt. Skull did a ton of damage, almost killed all of them. But at the end, Fina was just too close to him. And even though she was able to get herself back to full health, she still died to every single attack that Runestern did. And that's a double cost UR unit hitting an MR unit from literally the beginning of the game. So, okay, let's jump into like the overall score of Fina and kind of talk about what's going on. Alrighty, let's put a bow on this episode. Let's give Fina a score. Let's say why she gets that score, and if I would suggest building her or not. So let's start overall. I'm going to give her a 75 out of 100. A decent score, but not on that level of an Ayaka. Not on that level of even like an Adelard. Going line by line here, her healing is pretty good. I'm going to give her an 85 there. She has access to Curaga. She has access to Cura. She has the healing spells from White Mage. But she doesn't get into that like that 90 plus rank of healing, because her magic stat, even when boosted by support abilities and gear, and it just doesn't, those spells just don't hit as hard as the UR ones. But we expect that, and she's still a pretty dang good healer when she has TP, which is a problem for her. Buffs, she has one incredibly good buff in Cheer. If you're building a brand new account, let's say, right? Fina is kind of like a budget power boost if you have access to her and can build her up easily. If you're running like a Mont, or you're running a single tank team and you just kind of want to make that tank a little bit better, Fina can do that for you and heal him until you get somebody who can do it better. If she would also have access to more buffs, I'd feel comfortable moving her score above 85 here. But with just that one kind of next level buff and not having access to the other good buffs, it's hard to get her past an 85. If she also had, like, I don't know, just something more. She has one real great spell, and just, then what? And then what? So 85 there. It's still a strength of hers because Cheer is so good. Okay, damage. Garbage. Terrible damage. Once she gets into DPS mode, you better hope the rest of your team's still alive and can finish things off. Her damage is really bad. Movement. I'm going to give her a 70 here. You got to see it. Her AI is pretty good. Like, she'll hang back. However, she really likes to hang back. And when she does need to go find the ability to heal somebody, she might not be able to close the gap. She likes to be stationary at the beginning of a fight, unless she's forced to move into range to buff or heal somebody. She is perfectly content with just standing there and being a cheerleader, which is usually what you want her to do, which is why I didn't put that score below 70, but it's not ideal. She doesn't have a lot of flexibility here. She's a rock, and she's going to cheer, and like everybody's in the stands and the varsity team's on the field, and Fina's like, go team. Yeah, but sometimes it's hard for her to get in the game after that. Anyway, 70. Speed, she's quick. 85. Good. That's one of her strengths. She gets plenty of moves in a fight, and she can be built for even more speed, so I really like that about her. Survivability, yeah, you got to see it. I would say she's one of those characters that a month and a half ago, before the darkness crept into all of our lives that is Ruinstern and Dwayne and Kane, Fina could take hits. She'd put cheer on herself, you could run some tanky things on her, and she'd take some hits, heal herself up, and kind of laugh at the other squad. But with her terrible physical resists and her weakness to dark, it's tough right now for Fina. Maybe when light meta kind of creeps in, maybe when dark meta fades out a little bit, and maybe Fina's looking at an EX job down the line, her survivability might go up. But right now it's not very good. It's hard to find fights in Arena that don't include some dark character, because there's so many strong ones right now. Speaking of EX jobs, it would be so cool if Fina got one and got a boost to cheer, because it's such a good move. Like, I really like that move, and I really wanted Fina to be better than she is, even though she's still pretty good. So, all right, this is getting long. I'm going to wrap it up. Overall, I would say if you don't have a UR healer because you have a new account, and you don't have Adelard, or you don't have one of the church sisters, right? Like Grace. If Fina's what you have, hey, she can do the job. She can hold your account over until you get to an Ayaka or something like that. But until she gets an EX job and some buffs, I don't think she can be your only healer on your account. She just doesn't have the sustainability in a fight to do what Ayaka does, or somebody else. So anyway, that's my review of Fina. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Been having fun with this support series. More episodes coming soon. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.